Hello friends and welcome to Moss. I am playing it on my Oculus Rift by way of Steam VR. So, we've been playing a lot of dark, evil games lately because, as you all know, I have a affinity for the evil VR games. But we've been spending a lot of time in there, so I thought, why not change it up, do something different, and play something nice for once. And we're going to do that today, and we're going to do it in style, as we are playing one of VR's best titles, a game that is universally, critically acclaimed, Moss. It's a story-driven puzzler. I have played it before. This won't be my first playthrough, but I didn't finish it. I started it, put a couple hours into it maybe, and as it normally goes in VR, I started on something else and never went back. But it wasn't because I didn't enjoy it, quite the opposite. This game is absolutely beautiful. And my first playthrough was on PlayStation VR, so I'm really anxious to get in here and see what this game's going to look like. It was beautiful on the PlayStation. I can't imagine it would be any different with this powerful gaming machine pushing it. So, like I said, this game is story driven, so let's open the cover and get started. Okay, there's a butterfly that once flew over the land, and then the land got dark.
Your time has come at last, dear reader. While we began this tale long ago, we hope it is yours to finish. But this story is not yours alone. No, it is tied to another. And the journey you take together could change the fate of both our worlds. Shall we begin?
We shall.
They called it the Cinder Night. What came from those dark, starless skies would change the world of Moss forever. The peace that had settled across the land was broken by an unconquerable nightmare. And that night, the animals nearly met their end. First, they killed the king.
No.
A winged creature broke from the shadows and plucked him from his royal bedchamber high atop the tallest tower. Next, the serpent Sarfog and the armies of the Arcane tore up from the underworld. They ravaged the castle in search of that which gave the king power beyond understanding. One of the fabled glass relics.
I just want to say that this game is absolutely stunningly beautiful. Crystal clear, colorful, vivid. Even in this Oculus Rift, everything has nice contrast. The SDE from the Rift headset itself is quite noticeable, but that is the headset. That is not the game. Everything's just wonderful.
The King's Guard fought bravely, but the castle soon pulsed with the Arcane's evil. Every room was gutted, every statue, tapestry, and adornment hexed. But the glass was never found. Even the reclusive sprites set aside their differences on that fated night. They sent a great champion, empowered by their own glass relic, to challenge the serpent and its steel army.
Steel versus glass normally doesn't.
Meanwhile, Sir Argus, commander of the Kingsguard, led the survivors west through a temple long abandoned by their ancestors and far away from their newly risen enemies. It was an arduous escape. Finally, after passage beneath the impassable mire, they found refuge in a clearing hidden safely in the trees. Argus charged back to join the Sprite champion at the mire's edge. Together, they fought back the arcane and sealed the temple passage that led to the clearing. But the champion was gravely injured. Clutching his glass, he retreated deep into the forest where he drew his last breath. A large tree grew upon him. It stood many years in watchful duty, safeguarding the glass and awaiting its next hero.
Beautiful.
That hero, albeit an unlikely one, did arrive at a time she'd be needed most. Quill was out adventuring beyond the edge of the clearing. Dusk was creeping in, but she wondered what she might find if she went just a little farther. She was not exactly sure what she roused, but she felt no danger from the being silently peering down at her. Quill had to hurry. The village gates would soon close, and night would follow.
Alright, so one of the things that strikes me now, and it was the case as well when I first played this on PlayStation VR, is just the sense of scale and presence that you feel immediately when you come into this game. It's absolutely stunningly beautiful as it was before. I'd like to say that it looks better on the PC, but I can't. That would be dishonest. I was stunned the first time that I played it on PlayStation VR. It looks good everywhere. The only thing that I notice now that I didn't notice before, or I don't remember noticing it before, is, like I said, the SDE from this headset is very visible. When I look at the character, when I look at the brightly colored objects, the pixels are very visible, and SDE isn't something that I normally notice at all. But again, that is 100% on the equipment. I'm sure in a higher end headset that this would look absolutely 100% sharp, but it is beautiful. and the lead character is adorable. You can cut the grass. That's pretty cool, huh? Immediately when you start playing this game, I get the vibes of The Hobbit. It's what the story and the surroundings remind me of. And even though it's been such a long time since I played the PlayStation VR version, too long for me to compare accurately. I may decide to play a subsequent section of this series from the PlayStation version, just so that I can compare. See if the SDEs is noticeable on the PSVR headset. See if the distant objects look as nice. For example, there's absolutely zero shimmer right now. Anywhere. No aliasing at all. 100% perfection. The water is gorgeous. Everything's gorgeous. It's one of the things you have to watch, especially trying to make a video out of a game that looks like this, is you'll get caught up just looking around, peeking around the corners just to see what you might see, because you want to see every bit of something this beautiful. You don't want to miss anything, and you'll find a lot of stuff looking in the little nooks and crannies of a game like this. Nothing that actually impacts the game, but something that you're glad you saw. You know what I mean? I'm sure that I'll be able to point out many examples of this as we go along. But this game, as I said earlier, is a puzzle platform adventure game. And there's lots of interactive areas like this where me, being the giant helper of the lead character, manipulates the environment to help Quill pass. That one's rather simple, just to introduce the player to the mechanic. As you go further into the game, these become puzzles, and some of them are easy, some of them not so easy. All of it 100% fun. Jump up on top of that thing there. One thing I do appreciate about the PC version that's not really so much the case in PlayStation VR is, even though the character I'm playing is in a fixed position through every screen, with room scale, all I gotta do is stand up and walk around, and I can see places and things from a perspective that I would not have been able to see when I'm playing the front-facing seated PSVR experience. And this, I imagine, is going to be helpful in finding the scrolls. You have to look for these little collectible scrolls, like that one sitting way in the distance over there. So sometimes those are pretty well hidden, and I imagine being able to stand up and look at things from a different angle is going to be very helpful in finding those. Games like this, they just remind you, or remind me, how much I absolutely love virtual reality.
Her uncle often warned, was when danger was most present. But Quill preferred the stories of the magical creatures that woke to protect the forest.
Alright, so it's letting me climb down this wall. Is there a reason for that? Yeah, that's the way I'm supposed to go. Well, maybe I'm not ready to go that way yet. Jump down, Quill. Let's go look around a little bit first. As I was saying, games like this make you remember just how much you love VR and why you love it. And this isn't what you would consider a traditional VR title. People who don't have VR would see a game like this and say, I don't want to play that. VR is supposed to be first person. Third person doesn't work in VR. And that is absolute nonsense. Being a gigantic titan monolith in a little world like this is absolutely awesome. I mean, this stuff, this world, these rocks, that dirt, all these plants, they're literally right in front of my eyes. It's a completely different experience than the flat window experience you get from playing traditional video games. I mean, it's not just about being able to interact and grab things like I am right now. It's about being present in the game. And I absolutely, even though I'm not the lead character of this game, I feel like I'm in this forest right now. And literally, if I wanted to relax one day and I needed to just chill and calm down, I could put the controllers down and I could sit right here in this chair and be content for a good amount of time, just enjoying the sounds of the wildlife and the running water, watching the wind blow the leaves from the trees. It's a serene, peaceful environment. And that is something that is impossible to get from a traditional video game. We're going to pull this back over here. Quill. I'm going to quit trying to yap so much about how awesome this game is and show you how awesome this game is. We found the first scroll, and we're going to be looking for those throughout. Now we're going to walk down this awesome hollowed out log and go to the next part. So they're ringing the bells. It must be getting pretty late, Quill. Where's Quill? Oh, they closed the gates on us. What are we gonna do? The first thing I'm gonna do is walk over there and smash that cart, because I like watching those little colorful confetti things fly around. Make sure we're not missing anything around the corners here and move on. I forget which of the stuff you can destroy and which you can't. I swear particle effects are some of my favorite things about VR. It must be a fairly easy trick to pull off for a developer because they're in every game, and I'm glad for it. It's one of the easiest ways to get across the magic of VR to newcomer. Especially when you're new. When you're new, the 3D it's like super 3D. Because you've never experienced anything like it before. Your brain hasn't adjusted to looking at this stuff the way that someone like me who's played it every day for years the effect wears off after time. I mean, it's always completely awesome, but when you're your first few times in, it's a very intense experience because the 3D, it just pops so much more. And the same thing is true about no, I can't. There we go. The same thing is true of the sickness. Some people get VR sickness when they first start playing, and that fades with time as well. You just have to be smart about it when you play. Take breaks. Don't go too far, because if you try to power through it, it won't work. You're going to make yourself sick, and then it's kind of like getting food poisoning from your favorite food. It might be your favorite thing to eat, but you're not going to want to eat it for a while. And the same thing is true of VR sickness. If you push yourself too much, you're going to get sick, and if you get sick, you're not going to want to play. Look at that little dude coming out of his house. It's so cool. These look like those little figurines. This whole little village looks like those little figurines that you used to be able to buy out of catalogs. Maybe you still can. I'm sure you can. I always thought I could go across this bridge because, I mean, this whole side of the river over here looks like playable map, but dude's just fishing. He won't let me by. Okay, so here we are with our first real example of a puzzle. Man, that little guard looks like he's right in front of my face. Awesome. Alright, so we have to get across this thing here. The drawbridge is up, and the lever to drop this drawbridge here, if you follow the string, it's up on top of that platform. So we need to get up there and pull that lever. Trying to find my end. Is it over here? No, it is not. Maybe I ride this wheel up. I thought I had to climb up there. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I have. I don't remember. It's been a long time since I played this. Like I said, well, I mean, it hasn't been too long. 2 months. I got this game for Perpsmas. Shout out to Perp Games. Let's try it. Oh, I waited too long. Gotta be quick. Pork wheel drowned. But the magic of video games doesn't let little mouse die so easily. There we go, just like that. Then we just edge our way over. I'm gonna go over here and get this scroll first. again. Tiptoe across the rooftop. And down we go. Now we have to walk across the top of this thing to time it out. And there we go. Now you would think...
Thanks to her new friend, Quill had saved priceless grains from the hourglass.
Now you would think that me being the giant helper would just reach over there and flip the switch, but I guess I'm kind of a douchebag giant helper. Crap. Oh well. Another mouse dies, and one more comes to take its place, just like real life. Jump, jump. There we go. And onward into the forest we go.
She raced to the door of the cottage she shared with her uncle, hoping once he saw her discovery, he'd lose himself in tales of its legend.
What's up, squirrel? Let's go talk to the uncle. See what's up.
Uncle Argus was watching the evening light dim when Quill burst through the front door of their cottage. Uncle! Uncle, there's something you have to see!
Out past the bell again, he scolded. Quill, I've told you countless times.
I know, Quill replied, crestfallen. I didn't mean to worry you, but I found something strange and magical.
He found a piece of glass.
Quill's hands trembled as she showed him the glass. What is it? She asked. A look of panic spilled over her uncle's stoic exterior.
Where did you find this?
Roared Uncle Argus. Quill had never seen her uncle so shaken.
Quill's uncle had never seen a rock that big. Good Lord.
Just west of the clearing, she explained. And as soon as I picked it up, something started helping me. Uncle Argus followed her motion.
A reader. With you, here, right now? Quill, what you found is very powerful and very dangerous,
he said with great concern.
If I could take this burden from you, I would. But this reader has chosen.
Well, I'm down with you, old man. Take that rock. Let's party. It rocks like that.
Even with the moon full and bright, I must go right away.
Quill pressed. Where are you going? I can help. We can help.
No,
he snapped.
They'll find you and tear you apart. I have to go alone. It is for your own safety and for everyone here in the clearing.
His long, heartfelt hug told her he was heading for danger.
Don't head for danger. Stay home in the nice warm fireplace.
I'll be back before midnight. Until I return, I need your word you will not leave the clearing with that glass. Promise me, Quill.
I promise, she said reluctantly, wondering where her uncle was going so deep into the night.
The clock strikes midnight. This is so cool looking.
Hey, kid! Kid! Wake up! Hey, kid, over here! I know where your uncle went. I can show you. You're twofold now. Very important. Bring that glass, and your sidekick too. We're going to need them.
Bring that glass. And a lighter. Give me that scroll. Pick up the little knife on the little table.
Quill called out. Hey! Starthing, wait!
This is so awesome. So well done. Could you imagine being someone who had to create something so intricate and detailed? Knowing that the majority of the people that are in your little world are gonna keep their distance and not be able to really appreciate all the detail that you put into making something like that. This is just one small scene that you're literally intended to be in for a minute and leave. And it's so beautiful.
Quill had never met a Starthing. In campfire stories, they often meddled in the lives of mortals. And when they appeared, mischief followed.
Check it out, the fireflies are out. So it won't let you go in the water, huh? Or is it just telling me, no, don't go that way? Follow the little talking sparkle instead. I didn't mean to go all the way back there. I just wanted to break that thing. Another scroll.
Passage through the eastern gate was strictly forbidden. But despite her promise, Quill knew in her heart that Uncle Argus needed her.
We gotta go help Uncle Argus at once. But on our way, we're going to break every barrel and bucket and box that we come across.
Quill demanded answers. Starthing, you can't just barge in here with your riddles. Where is he? What do you know? The trouble your uncle's heading for is the kind only you and that silent giant up there can get him out of.
There we go. I'm going to push that one in instead of pull it. Love the sounds that the forest makes. Don't fall now. I have to walk through all that crap again. Oh, look at the portal.
This way, kid, urged the starling. And don't forget to tuck your ears in.
Check out the deer off in the distance. Beautiful. Well, I guess I can't do that, huh? Thought I would go back into that little cove there and look for a scroll, but I guess not. Check out the gnats on the riverbank. See another scroll behind that axe. So apparently men were here once, where this little mouse is, because there's a giant stone axe. It's a swampy area. Look at all the sludge in the water, algae. It's absolutely amazing. .12. That's a big one. can hear the deer breathing. It's another great thing about VR. When you hear things, the sound comes from the direction it should. So you hear the deer breathing, and you hear it over there. Absolute masterpiece this game is. Can't wait for the sequel too. The developers said that the sequel wouldn't be as linear as this game is, and that's exciting because that means exploration. Now imagine anyone who could make something as beautiful as this is going to make quite a wonderful area for us to explore. I guess I gotta jump across there. Check out that old shield over there. Missed. Not at that time. And here's the rest of the armor with the sword and the breastplate. Rusted, old. Surprisingly, no moss growing on it.
Just on the other side is the mire, the starving assured her. There's a good chance your uncle's still there.
Check out the swamp of swords. Something bad went down here, huh? Long before this was even a swamp. Alright, so am I missing a scroll here? I didn't see one in this particular slide. I don't think I can jump up there and walk around the back of it, maybe? Nope. Sorry, squirrel. Someone will be back for you later.
Did you hear that? The starving seemed anxious. I've ruffled enough leaves in these parts. I can't be seen with you. I'll catch up with you later. Just don't go and die on me.
How rude. Can't be seen with you. Oh wow, look at all that. Let's stand up and get a better look at this place. It's crazy awesome. welcome. This shows you how long these swords have been here that couldn't even hold the weight of a mouse. So rusted through. And there's the scroll right there. So these are the type of puzzles that you work. Now see, here's a good example. If I were playing this on my PlayStation VR, I very likely would just sit here face forward and I would never see that scroll right there. Wonder what that little ledge is for. Apparently nothing. It's just ruins. Look at that. So peaceful. The frogs in the swamp. All the sounds of the wildlife here. Look at that thing. Swamp crab. Oh, don't do that. Have to counterattack these dudes. Son. Got any more? Oh, yes, you do. So just like that, we can now pass. thing I have that magic healing touch. Alright, let's move on.
A whisper echoed through the trees.
Look at
Fought
this.
like someone who has stolen our champion's power.
A small, yet fantastical band of sprites emerged, surrounding Quill.
I'm Veda, root seer of the mire, and you have crossed into our domain.
You're a root seer? Do you see this one?
She sized up Quill with a rueful gaze, then
Sized
turned
him
her
up.
attention upward.
Or up.
I sense you there too. I have not felt the presence of such a promising reader in some time.
That's right.
A youthful warrior marched forward. Root Seer, I'm prepared to honor our great champion's legacy. Rodent, give us our glass.
That's rude. The rodent is your guest.
Quill stepped closer. Where is my uncle? If you've hurt him,
Silence!
Veda thundered back.
It was Argus who summoned us here, and now I see why. Young one, I'm afraid the trees hum of attack. Your uncle's been taken to the castle of your ancestors.
Quill's knees buckled as Veda continued.
Argus put himself at great risk calling for us. Your uncle once took a solemn oath to protect the glass of your fallen king. He is the only one left who knows where it's been hidden. The Arcane have long sought to wrest that knowledge from him. And you dare to cross into the mire with our glass? Sarfog will soon burn through this forest looking to tear you and your reader apart. Unless,
Bring
of
it
course,
on.
you find them first.
That's what we'll do then. Check those fools up.
Take these. Weapons made for the mighty champion who died so that your people could live.
Quill felt its otherworldly power course through her.
Uh-oh.
Find your uncle twofold before
Grass
the
sword.
serpent and its masters break him.
The warrior fumed. Our glass with her? Rootseer, she's minuscule.
Come now. The reader has chosen its hero. We must let their story unfold.
Veda
Well,
replied
that's cool.
with the frost of
I can roll with
finality
you all.
and vanished into the shadows
that
of
rock.
the mire.
Let's party. Okay, now, as I was saying before that all went down, look at all this, man. It may not look like much on the screen, but this is amazing. These little statues. Bill's got the grass sword now. It's on. Ooh, that was a long one. That's what she said anyway. Just like that. Check out how awesome that is. Thing looks real. Incredible. We have gained access to the castle. The game starts here, folks, and I think this is as good a place as we're gonna find to cut it. So that is it for this episode. What'd you think? Did this stunning beauty come across in the video? I hope so, because this is one of the most impressive games that VR has to offer, and that primarily is why I'm here to show it to you, start to finish, the way that we always do. So be sure to let me know what you think about it in the comments down below, and if you like what you're seeing here, you know what to do. Click that like button, subscribe, and don't forget that notification bell so you can see when part 2 goes up. So if you've made it through all this, I very much appreciate it. Thank you. And when we come back to Moss, we will be entering the castle to go find Uncle Argus, and I'm sure plenty of little creepy crawly evil things are going to be in there waiting for us. So thanks for watching, and I will see you another day from another game. Thanks a lot, guys. See you later.